Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be looking today at setting up a first-person character model inside of Unreal. So right now what we have is our character that we can move around with, and when we look down, we don't have any feet. That's a problem. We want the character to feel grounded in the world so the player can be more immersed inside of the game space. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to set up a few things inside of Unreal. We need to have a character that is set up for a skeletal mesh. So I went and grabbed something from Fab. I grabbed this survival character. It has the physics asset, the skeletal mesh asset, the skeleton, and inside we have the modular pieces for the base that they assembled together to make the whole thing. So with that, the meshes are going to be what I'm going to use. The skeletal mesh is the big one. In order to implement that skeletal mesh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my character, and I'm not going to need to modify any of the attributes of how my character behaves to get this to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, inside of this, I'm going to click and drag my mesh for the skeletal mesh here, and that'll add that into my scene. You'll notice that the pivot is at the feet, which is in the center of my other character. So I can just select that, and we'll just drag that down until it's about the right size. And it looks like my character is going to be floating just a smidge there. You probably want to just adjust that to get the capsule to line up right so your character doesn't look like they're floating or sunk into the level. And my character also looks like he's a little tall for the capsule. So I'm just going to scale the character uniformly. I'll click lock to put these scale attributes to the same scale. And we'll say 0.9. It's maybe a little short, so 0.95, 0.925. There we go. And that looks like it'll probably be right. It'll represent the character fairly accurately. So with this, the character by default isn't going to do anything. Because Unreal comes with so many built-in animation toolkits, people build models that are using the default Mani animation kit. So we can come over to the anim class and just choose to use the APB Mani. So we'll use this, and you can see the character immediately has an idle animation. So right now, if I went into the world and I clicked play, let's do this here. There's a problem. One, I'm looking through the shoulder and into the body of this character. So it's facing the wrong direction, and it's clearly not respecting what I'd like to do in terms of not having the character render with clipping. So to get this facing the right direction, I can see the blue arrow points forward on my character model, right? That's part of the arrow to show the forward vector. So I'm going to take this character and just rotate him 90 degrees so that his forward is facing the same forward as the character. Now, I want to be able to have the camera placed attached to the character. So I'm going to come over here and add a camera actor. So this camera actor is down here. I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to attach it to the skeletal mesh, the SK survival character. And when I do that, I want to place the camera so it gets attached to the head. So as the camera, like right now, even if I put this in the right spot, something like this, when I go to play, this is problematic, obviously, because as the head moves, the camera doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the parent socket for this, since it's attached to something, I'm going to click on that and it'll show me all the sockets that exist. So I'm going to attach this to the head. So attached to the head, it's going to take its previous configuration and it's going to turn it on its side a little bit. So we're going to have to reset its orientation. So we're going to rotate it 90 degrees this way, 90 degrees this way, and then we're going to reset its position. So if I look at this, I can say maybe this is a little too far to the back of the head, and I want to bring this forward closer to where the character's eyes are. Now if I go to play, I'm able to move around. As the head moves, so does the camera, but I can't look up and down. I can only move left and right. With the camera, we need to set pawn control rotation right here to allow the camera be able to pivot up and down and left and right. And if I look down, right now it looks okay, but I can kind of see through my clavicle and into the inside of my character. So in order to fix that, we want to modify that the character is going to have set up to be a first-person primitive type. So if I look down, you can see the lighting's a little bit different on it because it's treating the lighting as if I'm viewing myself rather than other people viewing me, and that you can kind of see my chin a little bit. So I need to go and update the camera as well. So I'm going to enable first-person field of view and first-person scaling. So what that first-person scaling does is it takes the rendering of the character and it kind of deforms it so that it looks appropriate to the first-person camera that's the view target right now. So now when I move around, I can look down, I can see myself, maybe move the camera a little bit forward. My proportion in the world is going to be accurate, and I can interact with the world just as I would expect the player to be able to see and move around. So let's take this. Maybe I think the actual issue if we take the rotation right there, there we go. I could move them forward a little bit, and then that would solve the problem as well. Let's take that down, just do a manual placement. And if you find that it's moving around too much, over here we can just say pause the animations so that we can get the details exactly where we want them to be, and then we can come back in and unpause. Now we play, looking down, things look good. Got my head moving around, character's able to explore the world. If you have any animations that would be called in on this character, you can call them, and it'll play in first person. So hopefully this gets you what you need to do to be able to accomplish a first person character, and I hope that this lets you go out there and keep building.